Alright, so in this video we're going to continue work with decimals, but we're going to focus on just converting between fractions and decimals and back and forth, and a couple strategies on how to do that. So to start here, let's look at these fractions I have here. We have 7 hundredths, 7 over hundreds. So when you read that, it's 7 hundredths. It's literally this easy to convert that to a decimal. 0 point, no tenths, but you have 7 hundredths. So 7 hundredths they equal. And then 7 thousandths, so same thing. 0 0.00, oops, ran out of space. 7 thousandths. 5 tenths, 0 0.5, 5 tenths. 32 hundredths. This one's a little bit trickier because you have the 32, so like 32, and you want the 2 to be in the hundredths place. So like, oh, okay, this is the tenths, this would be hundredths. So you put the decimal here, 32 hundredths. And then you have 632 thousandths. So again, you write 632, this 2 needs to be thousandths, I mean this is hundredths, tenths, and then nothing in the ones place. That's how you can quick convert fractions to decimals, but this is only going to work with fractions that have multiples of 10, like tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths, and so on. So in the next step, we're going to look at taking basically regular fractions that don't always end in, that aren't in tenths, hundreds, or thousands, and converting those to decimals. First, we're going to look here at 5 sevenths. Actually, zoom out some so we can have more space to work. We're going to look at 5 sevenths, which is right down here. I'm going to explain how to convert that to a decimal. Really what that problem is it's 5 divided by 7, because a fraction bar means the same thing as division. So you write that out like long division, 7 into 5. But we know that 5 can't be split into 7. So what you can do is you can add a decimal, and you can put all these zeros at the end of the 5 that essentially don't change the value at all. It's still 5.000, whatever. It's still 5. 7 goes into 5, it's 0 times. We can bring the decimal straight up. 7 goes into, now what we're looking at is about 50. So it'll go in 7 times. 49. 1 left. Bring down the 0. 10 goes into 10 once. 1 times 7 is 7. 10 minus 7 is 3. Bring down another 0. 30 goes into 34 times. 4 times 7 is 28. Subtract, you're down to 2. Bring down another 0. 20. 7 goes into 20 twice. Almost 3 times. 14, you end up with 6. Here, you can keep going through this process, but I'm going to kind of cut us off here. Now, seeing this is a 2, it means the 4 would round to a 4 and stay the same. It'd round down. So we're going to say that 5 sevenths, oops, let's just zoom in here so we have space to write it. We're going to say that 5 sevenths is about 714 thousandths. So that's kind of a close estimate of that decimal and fraction conversion. Okay. Now let's come in here, let's look at 3/8. This one's a little bit easier. So we're going to take 3/8, and again we're going to divide 8 into 3, add a decimal and some zeros. Still the same values. We're still solving the same problem. We're just adjusting it so we can kind of determine the decimal here. 8 does not go into 3. 8 does go into 30. It's going to go in 3 times. Okay. 3 times 8 is 24. 30 minus 24 is 6. Bring down the 0. 8 goes into 67 times. 7 times 8 is 56. 60 minus 56 is 4. Bring down the 0 is 40. 8's going to go into 45 times. Oops. Oh, sorry about that. 8's going to go into 45 times. 5 times 8 is 40. 40 minus 40 is 0. So we have nothing left over. Don't need to bring down any more. We have ourselves a decimal. 375 thousandths is going to equal 3/8. Next one, 1/3. 1/3 is an interesting one. Let's just do this work right below it. All right. 1/3. So 3, 1. 1 divided by 3. I'm going to go out to 4 places because you're going to see something as I do this. 3 does not go into 1, but 3 does go into 10. It goes in 3 times. Well, 3 times 3 is 9. 10 minus 9 is 1. Bring down to 0, 10. Oh, and I just did that one. 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. 10 minus 9 is 1. Oh my goodness, it's the same thing every time. 3 goes into 10. It's going to go in 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. 10 minus 9 is 1. I can continue on, but I literally would continue on forever. This is what you call a repeating decimal. So generally you can carry out 3 places. That's fine. It's 333 thousandths. Usually people say 1/3 is equal to 0.33 repeating. And you see that line over top of it? That indicates it's a repeating decimal, and that 3 just repeats over and over and over. You continue this on forever and just sit here and long divide forever, and it wouldn't change. It's not going to end. So that's why we just kind of accept, okay, it's 1/3 is 0.33 repeating, or 33 hundredths. 2/4. Hopefully you can recognize, oh, that's half. This should be 0.5. You're right. But I just want to show you that this still works with a simpler fraction you may already know. So we do 4 into 2. Add that 0. We should only need to go 1 decimal place for this. 4 does not go into 2, so put a 0, bring it up. 4 goes into 20, it goes in 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract 0, and you're done. 2/4 equals 0.5, 5/10, 1/2, however you'd like to say it. Now I want to kind of go back and review a couple of these, look at some different problems, and do a quick back the other way, from decimals to fractions. So here's one, it's 59/10. So if you think about that, when you write it, you're going to want to go like, okay, 59. The 9 needs to be in the tenths place, so that's the tenths. This is the decimal point, meaning that 59/10 is really 5 and 9/10. So it's really 5.9. Right. 7/10. So put the 7. That needs to be in the tenths place, so the decimal goes there. So there's 7/10. Now let's go the other way. Pretty straightforward. 735, and this is in the thousandths, so you literally just write 735 over 1,000, 735 thousandths. 3/10. 3 over 10. 3 is in the tenths place. When you're dealing with some mixed numbers like you have here, you have 5 and 6/10. So 5 and 6/10. You can, if you need to, simplify the 6/10, because that can obviously be, you can do 6 divided by 3, or 6 divided by 2, and 10 divided by 2, so you're dividing it by 1, and that would be 3/5. So that would also equal 5 and 3/5. And finally, let's use a different color here so we can kind of not get too confused in this work. 2 and 78 hundredths. So you do 2, and you do 78 over 100. Simplifying this might be a little complicated. I would start by maybe dividing by 2 and see where that takes you, but for the purpose of this video, I just want you to see how to convert between fractions and decimals real quick. The tricky part's going to be the long division and dividing your fractions out to find them and convert them to decimals.